Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today in The Wizard and the Slug, and we're going for all of the boss-related achievements. Thankfully, you can get this done in the Boss Rush mode. Boss Rush mode is going to be available from the main menu if you jump over to Challenges. It's going to be the topmost option. Make sure you pick that. In addition to having access to all the bosses right away, you can make this even easier on yourself by hitting the Start button. Go down to Assist mode and make sure you turn on Invincibility, Infinite Jump/Dash, and Infinite Shots, and that's basically going to make every single boss fight a cakewalk. So with that in mind, you are able to basically just mow down all of the bosses being invincible and having infinite ammo, so just make sure you take advantage of that and take out this first boss right here. Super duper easy peasy. And as you can see, the achievements are going to unlock A-OK in Boss Rush mode, so there's going to be the achievement for defeating that boss. Then we're going to move on to the second boss in the form of this giant enemy blue crab. Make sure you try to aim for its pincers, and that's going to be its weak spot. So just make sure you pick one pincer, shoot that one out. Once it blows up, make sure you move on to the other one. And then once you take that out, just make sure you shoot the boss's body, and it should go down easy peasy as well. Taking care of that boss is going to net us another achievement in the pocket. There it is, another 90 gamer score. Then moving on to boss number 3, we're going to fight this phoenix right here. Same old, just make sure you just keep gunning it down whenever you can. This boss is going to take a little longer than the other two, simply because it is going to have some frames of invincibility when it flies off screen, for example. But again, we are going to be invincible, so just make sure you let it come to you and just keep gunning it down until you get the win. Once the bird gets grounded, we should be good for another achievement to add to the set. There it is, another 90 gamer score. Then we're going to transition into the next boss, who happens to be the exact same boss, but in zombie form. It's going to be pretty much the same battle, but we're doing this in an active volcano instead of above ground. He is going to have more of those swooping attacks, so that's going to be more downtime between moments where you can damage him. So be a little more patient on this one. But again, we are invincible, so just make sure you take advantage of that the best you can, and just keep gunning him down whenever he is in a still form. Once you defeat the false phoenix, you should be good for that achievement, 90 gamer score. On to this boss, which thankfully is going to be very straightforward. Just make sure you shoot out the 3 stars. No gimmicks for this one, so just play super aggressively and just make sure you take them out. They're going to come out of their invincibility frames way sooner than the phoenix does, so you should wrap this up in a few seconds. Once that's out of the way, achievement unlocked for defeating the Comet siblings. That's going to be for 90 gamer score. Then we're going to be on to the hardest boss of the set. And the only reason he's so hard is because he requires a little bit of an explanation on how to damage him. So basically what you want to do is you want to make sure you try to shoot him. It's going to bounce off of him and not do any damage. So your goal is to shoot him in a way where he flies up and hits either one of the 2 sets of spikes on the left and right walls. So you're going to basically have to arc your shots and then try to get him at an angle so you can get that bounce off and then get some damage in. And that's pretty much all there is to it to this boss. So a little bit unintuitive compared to the other bosses. So this is going to have to take a little bit of intuition. But now you know, you should be able to get through it a-okay. So it is going to be a little bit of a patience exercise, as trying to get that angle off can be a little challenging. But again, we are invincible and we do have infinite ammo to work on. So you should be able to wrap this up sooner rather than later, especially if you know the strategy. All right, once you finally wrap up that exercise in patience, you should be good for that achievement for another 90 gamer score, and you should be rewarded with the last few bosses, who thankfully are going to be super duper easy. So we're going to have to fight these two birds right here. So all I have to do is just jump and shoot, and then try to get them to the ground level so you can have easier shots, but honestly, you should be able to reach them by just jumping and shooting. All right, so defeating the two birds should net you their achievement. That one's going to be for yet another 90 gamer score, and then we are on to the last two bosses right here. Do keep in mind only the first boss is going to have an achievement tied to her. The second boss isn't going to have an achievement. So if you want to be even more lazy, you can just exit out of boss rush mode as soon as you defeat Root. You do not need to defeat Charm, as Charm isn't going to have an achievement. There's also not going to be any achievements for beating every single boss nor clearing boss rush mode, so you have that to look forward to. Once you get through this first phase of the fight, you should be all wrapped up. Now, if you want to absolutely go through Charm, you can, but it's going to not be necessary in terms of achievements. So make sure you do whatever you want. But this is going to pretty much wrap it up for all of the required bosses that do have specific achievements tied in on them. So hopefully you enjoyed the super duper easy method. Having the boss rush mode available from the beginning, as well as the assist mode, should make this a cakewalk. The whole mode should take you anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes or so, depending on your luck with some of those bosses that have more of the invincibility frames that you have to sit through. But nonetheless, once you knock out Root, you should be good for that last achievement. There it is, and that's all there is to it.